In this video, let's discuss about how Splunk identifies old data for deletion, archival or removal. First of all, we need to remember like how Splunk is storing the data. We discussed in the previous video. This data is getting stored in the form of buckets. Inside that buckets, we have different like data formats like TSIDX file and journal file. Even buckets are classified into hot, warm, cold, frozen, and thawed. But still, how these are getting navigated from one bucket to another bucket? So, like, is it hot first, warm first? Like, which order it follows? So, before understanding that one, what we need to know is like in each bucket, when the bucket is getting created, how it is being created. Like inside buckets we have a TSIDX file and journal file, but the bucket name itself has some information. If you see here, if I can zoom in a little bit, yeah. So each bucket, like the hot bucket, in the normal hot bucket, it says hot underscore v1 underscore local id. That's it. Hot bucket doesn't have any time into it. Once it converts into warm or cold or thawed bucket, the name will change it to db underscore newest time underscore oldest time underscore local id. So this is going to be the structure of it. So the newest time and oldest time is basically earliest time, latest time, you can say. Whatever the data which is inside that bucket, in the data, which one is the latest time, which one is the earliest time, that's what it is defined here. For example, the newest time and oldest time or the timestamp, if you take it, then it will be in the epoch format. You see here it says db underscore some epoch format and underscore some epoch format, and we have an id. So in this one, what it is saying is in the October 10, 2008, and covering the period of 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. So that is what it says. For example, we can convert this one and we can see. Let me copy this to Notepad. So let's convert this and see. You see, this is Friday, October 5 p.m. db underscore Friday, October 5 p.m. underscore. And then if I take the next one, see 4 p.m. right? So from the back end, this is how it is getting structured. So you can think of it like this. See, Friday 4 p.m., 5 p.m. and Friday 4 p.m. This is getting represented as like this. So now Splunk knows the data from this bucket belongs to this particular time range. It is October 10th, 4 o'clock, October 10th, 5 o'clock. So like that, each bucket gets its own name. This is how the data is getting stored inside the buckets with the name of db underscore newest time and the oldest time. Now, how Splunk is the back to our question is how Splunk is identifying the oldest bucket in the available bucket. As we just discussed, each bucket has its own time, earliest time and latest time. So based on this time, Splunk will identify. But there should be some border, right? Some threshold. So in the retention policy, we are giving that threshold. See, what we are telling is in the indexes.conf, when we are creating an index, we are using a frozen time period in seconds. We are giving some seconds. So this one, it's in the seconds, right? So if you want to know what time is here, we are telling it is 90 days. Well, let's verify that. So this one seconds to days. You see 90 days. So here the frozen time period, it is mentioned in seconds. It is referring to 90 days. So whenever Splunk is running, it will take this value from current time. It will go 90 days back. So it will pick that 90 days time and it will check if there is any bucket that is beyond that 90 days, beyond that retention policy. If any bucket is having the timestamp which is older than 90 days, then this bucket gets marked for deletion. Be careful, both the time ranges should be more than 90 days, more than retention policy. If any one timestamp falls, then it is not going to delete it because inside that bucket there will be a different timestamp. So both the timestamp should be more than the retention policy. Then only the DB gets marked for deletion. So this is how the Splunk is identifying the oldest bucket from the index for a deletion, right? And when you are deleting the data, when that bucket is marked for a deletion, there can be two things can happen: archiving and deletion. So this one we will discuss in the upcoming video. Just for now, if you don't want the data to be deleted, you can specify cold to frozen directory in your index.conf stanza. So here you can specify the path. Instead of deleting the data, it will put it in this particular path. So it will just move the db to here. And like if you want to restore, like let's say it went to the this particular directory, basically it went to the frozen bucket. From the frozen bucket, if you want to move that data to the normal bucket and make it searchable, you need to use the thawed bucket. So thawed bucket will be in the opt splunk where lib splunk that particular index name. Inside that there will be folder called thawed db. So inside that bucket, if you place your db, then it becomes searchable. The data becomes searchable. So this is how Splunk identifies older data for archival or deletion or for removal.